Up your game to gain commitment. Friday Night Live to learn to thrive with your guy. Glad to be with you tonight. Hello, hello. Welcome. So happy to have you here. I know we're going to have a great conversation tonight about love, commitment. So important now. And I love that you're here on a Friday night. I want to dive into this. It's about what I believe love to be. Love is not good. It's not bad. It is a unique experience you have when you meet someone who reflects back to you what your experience was as a young child. I mean, birth to age 7. And after 7, you keep living it out. And it may be why you feel like you are on rinse and repeat with any relationship because of what you, in your deepest programming, have as what love is. It's not the textbook definition. Certainly not. It's not what we bandy about in everyday life, talking about what love is, what it isn't, etc. It's actually as unique as your thumbprint because you were programmed with what you believe love to be. And if you were in any way wanting love, missing it, not getting your needs met, not getting affection, not getting attention. And let's face it, every baby experiences that. And you're experiencing it from a baby mind that has no understanding of anything except I need to be worthy and lovable to be loved so I survive. That's the human animal within us. So, what happens is when we do not get our needs met, we actually believe we are not lovable. Make no mistake, when we are very, very young, it is not that we are the victim of anything, which we are, but we cannot conceptualize that. We can only conceptualize until about age 7 that we are the center of the universe, and everything that happens to us, we are the cause of it happening. So when we don't get enough attention, when we don't get enough affection, what do we believe? First of all, we believe that's love. That's normal. That's our experience of love. And we also, unfortunately, because we are that baby, we then believe we are the cause of not getting our needs met. We are not worthy. We are not lovable. And that follows us as uniquely and permanently as our thumbprint does. We have to override the experience of what we tell ourselves as the adult woman we now are. So we're going to dive in with, I know a few people are calling in tonight. I'm just checking. If you are a member of the 80/20 Wonder Club, you can talk to me here live. Everybody uses another name, an anonymous name, but you can actually talk to me and get a bit of a coaching pseudo session, so to speak. And everybody here benefits from it. We are a community. That's what I love. I love spreading love. Women are love in the world. And we want to get you to knowing, deciding, and I'm going to give you a little tweak tonight about thinking about how you might begin to change your experience of love to get more love that you actually want and deserve in your life. So I welcome everybody here from Instagram and from YouTube. And before we go any further, if you don't know me and you are just coming on and finding this video, as everybody does on YouTube, maybe even Instagram, I'm Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach for women, licensed social worker, and author of the book behind me, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I help you find a Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship with a man you truly desire so you create the relationship of your dreams and level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. That's what I am all about for women, getting complete commitment. Men are best when they are completely committed, and we can learn something from men, believe it or not, when it comes to commitment, because as you know from my book, men make a decision to commit, whereas we just do it from our feelings. And actually, if we decide to make a decision, and it's what I'm just going to turn this up here so when someone's coming on tonight, they can hear me. Make a decision. You can, because you can decide to actually, instead of thinking about getting love, for example, you can feel like, we have in our society the wording, looking for love. Wouldn't it be better to be looking to give love? Yes. Whoever that was on and got cut off, please call back in. So we can talk to you and help you figure out where you are in the trajectory of getting the commitment you deserve from the man you are with. You see, if we look to give love to a man who is worthy, we really reframe everything instead of looking to get it and typically fulfill what that thumbprint is. And the thumbprint is that love, and this can happen for most babies. And so if you had any stuff on top of just the regular baby experience, when I see the regular baby experience, meaning maybe you have two parents, they stayed together, you had no trauma or abuse, outright in your family, that's the normal baby experience. However, it's still going to be somewhat fraught with, I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, to one degree or another, because nobody gets the perfect parenting that is truly needed for any baby, which is constant attention, affection, and the mother figure, most of all, being there minimally for the first 3 years, always in eye shot of the child, believe it or not. Think of lower mammals, think of like puppies, kittens even. Uh, yes, they grow really fast and they like shoot through our experience that takes 7 years. But think about the puppy of like 7 weeks. It's not taken away from the mother. Never not seeing the mother. Never not cuddling up to the mother. And we know we can't take them away from the mother. And it's not just about the feeding, because we could hand feed Yeah. No, it's about that process. And our process as humans is, excuse me, is fraught in the modern world with not really getting the attention and affection we need. So I'm going to open it up to Q&A tonight because we want to get to specifics for everyone. Someone is on the line. Let me see and to see if everybody can hear. Who's on the line? Who is? Hold on one second. Who is it? 313. Lynn? Hey, Lynn. How are you?
Hey. Really good.
Good. Well, we'll start with you tonight, Lynn. Can everybody hear Lynn? Tell me in the comments if you can hear Lynn. Give it a thumbs up if you can hear Lynn. Say hello again, Lynn.
Hi, it's Lynn.
What's happening?
Well, I'm trying to be my best self this 2025. So, with that being said, like, you know, I've told you before that I go on the hiking. This is my new theme this year, is going hiking with this group. And my question to you is, how do I, like, there's men on the group. I'm going hiking for myself, but there's men on the group. A lot of them are single. How do I keep it from being like that familial friendship type of vibe? You know, they're seeing me, like, this hiking group goes quite often, like a couple times a month or weekly. There's another group that goes weekly hikes. I don't want it to be where, even though I'm talking to guys and I'm attracted to one or the other, but I don't want it to be where it's like familial, friendly. How do I stay out of that but still enjoy the hiking type of thing going on?
That's a really good question. A really good question. Because, yeah, you have to put out a little bit of the right vibe to keep that from occurring. And here's just a general rule of thumb about it is that men are the pursuers. We want to think of cat and mouse. So if you think of the man as the cat and you are the mouse, what makes it fun for the cat is for the mouse to run away so he can chase it, right?
Right.
So it's that fine line of being somewhat available to talk. And when you do, you are open, happy, connected, but you keep it really short and you move on and you want to think of yourself as the mouse. So in other words,
okay.
Yeah, think of it like you are hiking in the group and man A comes up to you, right? And because you didn't come up to him, he came up to you and he catches up with you. And now he's hiking beside you and he's talking. You connect with him for that time and you're open and you make it fun and maybe even a little flirty, but make something happen there whereby it's not the entire hike. For example, you have to stop and tie your boots. You connect with, oh, hey, Joan, how are you? And you go up to Joan and he like loses your attention right then. This can almost seem, it's kind of hard to do because it can almost seem rude. Does that make sense?
Yes, It does. It does make sense. And I kind of like did that
Mm-hmm.
this last. I went hiking Sunday without really knowing what I was doing. I had to. I felt, it's actually a big group, so I kind of like fell behind,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had stopped. For example, they had stopped, and we were in mid conversation, and they were just like, "Oh, stop, everybody!" I guess for whatever reason, and I fell behind in the group. So therefore, our conversation kind of ended abruptly.
Right. And did he come back and try to find you again?
I don't think he necessarily came to find me. It's just that between the slowing down and everything, he just ended up being right back at my side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
But I've been through those things where you talk to men and they, next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, she's like my sister." I'm like, I really, really want to avoid that at all costs. Like,
okay. So that's kind of how you do it.
Okay.
And
all right.
Here's the thing that's tricky about those kinds of groups, which I'm really glad you're doing, like meetups or this kind of group, or like the gym, a class like that, that men can be very resistant to getting something started in one of those situations. So I recommend, if it's weekly, don't go weekly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see if that also spurs some interest. Again, it's that cat and mouse. The fun for him is to try to catch you, not necessarily catch you. You see what I mean?
I totally get it. Now, my other question it has something to do with your last live. You were talking about social media.
Mm-hmm.
And because the hiking group is on Facebook, and everybody can see who's chatting in that particular group. Anywho, the first guy that I met in the hiking group, he started following me. Now, I didn't like, "Oh, here's my Facebook," or anything.
Okay.
Like that. He started following me on Facebook, and now he's following me on TikTok. And so I was thinking about what you were saying the other day on your live about not having them. How do I take that away without seeming bothered? It's not like we really
okay. Okay, it's a really good question. So for anybody just catching everybody up, I know where you're going with this. So, for example, you didn't, Lynn, have any, you had no control over that. In other words, what I'm telling everybody is, when you meet a guy and, it's at a party, this kind of situation, and he says, "Oh, can I have your Insta?" Or "Can I have your Facebook?" Or "What's your social?" or whatever. You just say very politely, "Oh, I keep my social really private, and until I really know somebody well, I prefer just to give my text number, my phone." Okay? But you had no control over this. He found you. Did he engage with you? Did he send any messages?
Right. When he first found me on Facebook, or he decided to send me a message, yeah, he found me, he sent me a message on Messenger and asked me directly, for my number. This was the first guy I was telling you about. I met on the site.
Oh, okay.
And he's just been really flaky.
Yeah.
But he's still there. He's still on, even I seen him at hiking the other day, and mind you, I hadn't seen him in months, because I just didn't go hiking because of the weather. Now that the weather is breaking, I'm back. And so he broke the ice the other day because I just refused to reach out to him. And
Good.
so he's like, hey, but he's still, there on my Facebook, and he found me on TikTok, and now he's following me there as well.
Well, he's pretty much shown you that he likes you a lot, but he doesn't feel, my sense is, he doesn't feel like he's good enough for you. That's why he brought up that he has, the car issue and that kind of thing. And he's not ready to be dating. But when he is, in other words, I would not proactively take him off your social.
Okay.
Yeah, that would send the wrong message. In other words, you didn't, he didn't come to you and ask. So the only way you can do that is if the man asks, you say, "Well, I like to keep it private. It's just for my friends." And even if it's not, later, if you're going to be with him, you can correct this, but don't do it initially, because we have to understand how it satisfies the man. Everybody here has probably had the experience of giving a man your social, and then he doesn't follow up with anything. He may text you here and there, but he's not asking you out. He's not following through with anything. It's because he's getting his need of, remember, men amuse themselves and self-soothe with women.
Yeah.
So he's just looking, amusing himself by looking, self-soothing, fantasizing about you, whatever it is, but he's in no place. For this one, we pretty much know he's in no place to be ready, willing, and able to even actively date, certainly not for a relationship, even though he likes you. If that changes, it does. This is a tough one, because if you're seeing him in hiking, if you start to date someone else, you could take him off. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, in most apps now, you can kind of hide your profile from him, and he doesn't know that he's actually he's not getting your stories, he's not getting your feed. You can, right? So you can absolutely do that if you want. He can still DM you if he wants, correct?
Right, you can still be friends, but he can't see none of your postings and stories.
Yeah, like that. You could do that with him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and just play the cat and mouse game with the others. And it also is good because you're not showing any allegiance to one. In other words, think of yourself as like the little mouse, or you can think of butterfly flitting around to different ones. You could think of that. But keep it in your mind when you're there, so that you don't get stuck hiking with one or giving one too much time, because men fall, and ladies, take this, it's a ding, ding, ding moment. Men fall through having to achieve your time, attention, and then your affection. They fall in love that way. They fall in love through the act of pursuing. So don't take that away, or you won't get the falling. Okay? Great.
Okay.
Good to talk to you, Lynn. Keep up the good work. It's going to happen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And you know what, Paula? I do have one last final question, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be quick, but, with that his birthday is coming up April 3rd. And just for myself, I don't know, and it's been a long time, over a month now since we talked, but I feel so anxious about, and I've already had in my mind. I got a plan that I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing and just being and not reaching out and not, giving him any of my energy. But how do I get over this anxious feeling like it's his birthday? And I don't, we're just, it's been so long. This whole situation's been so long. And I know we finally really good and no contact now. But I feel so anxious about his birthday and that.
Okay, so let's separate your question. Lynn's talking about an ex that has been really fraught with quite a long time of trying to get past that and actually doing the steps to try to get him to come back. And are you really now in no contact, or is it just like low contact?
No, I haven't spoke to him. I think since the last time I was on the line with you, it's like February. It's been over a month, so it was right after Valentine's Day. So maybe like February the 17th or something like that.
And who ended the interaction? Who started it? Who ended it?
I started it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I could say he ended it because there's nothing else.
So you see, this is a we have to separate the issues here. You have tried every which way, up and down, all around, to attempt to get this to something that you want. Correct?
That is correct.
However, there is one thing that if you did it, you will finally know.
Okay.
Your anxiety about not contacting him for his birthday, where do you think that comes from?
The childhood trauma, I know. Because
okay, you do know that. And that's true, because it is trying to get your, I know who it is in your life, but trying to get their love, attention.
Yeah.
So, because of the situation, you believe underneath your programming of love is to be the person who attempts to get love. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Many of us have what we believe love to be is longing and wanting to prove ourselves worthy of it. That's actually like the stamp on us of what love is. And if you continue to act it out with a man who is showing you he doesn't appreciate it, want it, honor it, all of that, you are living out your experience of love, and it's why you are still attached to him. Because he gives you the experience of love, you see?
I see.
So you must fight this with everything you have, because until you correct it, he will never correct it.
Right. Right.
So anxiety and schmiety, it doesn't matter. You have to do it in spite of. And what you are telling yourself, it's a very good question, because every woman here has gone through it to one degree or another. Let's all give Lynn some love, because it's true. We've all been there. You have to know, by telling yourself all of the positive things that you are doing, if you reach out for this birthday, you are right back right back to where you were. He would finally, I believe, if you don't, finally wonder at least a little bit that might click into him, wow, something really has changed.
Okay. I didn't have any plans of reaching out. It was more so I just want to get over this anxiousness. You know, I already was going to stand on this business of not reaching out. I 100% know that. It's just that
I'm going to put up a comment here that's very good. AJ, he will think, she didn't say happy birthday. Ding, ding, ding. Wonder.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Well,
perfect.
I will not be reaching out.
And here's another really nice. Isn't that sweet? Thank you for the love. Opal said, Lynn, you are strong and fierce and deserve all the love in the world. Right. And you have to start, yes, feeding yourself that you must, and this can be, it is so hard because you are going against programming.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond tough. I'm not saying it isn't, but if you don't change that, what can you do that day? Plan. What are you going to do that day? And anybody here knows that when I'm coaching somebody, I like for people to watch manifestors like Dylan James, Naya, Sylvia Nuccio, Elevate with L, people of Neville Goddard manifestors, because it's part of my 3-pronged approach, manifesting mindset, the mechanics of men. And somebody like Dylan talks about this. When you are that anxious, you plan that day out to the nth degree. You don't leave your subconscious mind alone for a moment.
I do have, it so happened that that particular day, I'm having like a big, like a heart procedure, not surgery, but a heart procedure that, you know, I'm going to have to be in the hospital most of the day. So, and I have my family and friends around that
Good.
day, so
good.
I won't be like alone and stuff. So
good.
I kind of planned that for that day. They asked me what dates I wanted, and I actually picked that day.
Okay, good. I love it. And it's for your heart. So this is good. And you keep telling yourself, isn't it fantastic? I'm mending my heart. My heart is mending.
Yeah.
I'm mending my heart today. Right? And he will be wondering.
Yeah.
So
thank you so
stay
much,
the course. Absolutely stay the course. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, it was.
Yes. So let's see who else is on. Let me take a look here. Is there anyone else on? I cannot see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, who's that?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Who's that?
This is Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, how are you?
Hi, good. So, okay. So I just wanted to ask you a couple questions and follow up from our other conversation. So I sent music.
Okay.
And it went well.
Yay! What did he say?
And he really liked it. And let me see exactly. I like that. Very nice. And then a little bit later, we need to see each other. I'm craving you.
Oh.
And then, and then I said, can ID with that?
I can what?
Think about Monday. ID, like identify. I can ID with that.
Okay.
What do we think about Monday? Because that was really the only day I could do, and that was a stretch.
All right.
It was a really busy week. He said, I'll let you know I have to move some things around. And I said, let me know what you have in mind and float some days by me. And he said, how about Tuesday? Like, do you want to go for a ride on Tuesday? And Tuesday is my day where I have my beloved dance class, and I usually book nothing. Like, that is my class. It's in the evening, and I don't know what he's thinking. So I said, it sounds sweet. Let me know what time frame you're thinking. And that was 1 p.m. today.
Okay.
And he hearted the sounds sweet. And then that's it. That's where we left it. He tends to be kind of last minute with things, and because he's probably plotting something.
So what are you feeling?
You know, my question.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things here. One is that I sort of am supposed to be on lockdown all week, finishing up what's happening at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure, okay, I'll make a sacrifice. If I'm thinking, I guess I could sacrifice to see him because maybe it's important because of all the time that has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, since April is the coming week, I don't know if there's, you know, a trip planned in his world.
Right.
That had been mentioned. So, and the way that we communicate, I don't really, you know, ask for details about his itinerary. It just kind of comes up.
Okay.
It's just where we've been.
So what's the question?
Okay, so the question is, well, I've got a couple questions. One of them is, I guess I should answer it myself as to whether or not I should bail on my class for him, which I don't bail on it for anybody. So that's, I guess, a question that I need to answer myself, whether or not I'd want to miss my class.
Yeah.
And then the other questions are more, if I do see him, do I mention anything about the time that has passed? I got 3 questions. Can I just tell them to you?
Yes.
In a row?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is there like a worthy opponent move that you might recommend during the time we have together, or at the goodbye?
Mm-hmm.
So at the parting or sometime during. And then the last one is there anything that I might say that, you know, that might reveal more about where he is, you know, with this weird rhythm and I don't know, just like without coming out directly, but I'm curious about, you know, our communication. And
right.
Just like,
it's not, again, you have to step into better texting and connected texting and know that, you know, you have to live in the knowing that, you see, it's not you. You're not going to get all of your needs met in terms of seeing him as much as you like, as much as you would like, right? You're not. There's no question. Not going to happen. His life. So you have to either say, okay, I'm on board with that, or not, right?
We're talking about just for now, not forever.
Right, of course. Exactly. And that's how you have to look at it, right? So the point being that the most important thing for you to do is to show that, not even show, is to live in the knowing, and this is the manifesting part, that you have this, that you're his, that you have everything you want, even though it's not right in right now. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Yeah.
That's all the work that I've been trying to practice, yes. And then if we rewind to the other two questions, do I mention anything about the time has passed? And is there like a worthy opponent move kind of either energetically or something I say or do either during or when we part ways? Because when we part ways, that's always a tricky business.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you whether or not.
Like, see you later. See ya.
That's what he does, right?
Not always. Possibility.
What do you mean not always?
Oh, like, there can be something like, oh, maybe there's already an next plan that we're looking forward to that we already discussed, or maybe there's and you know I'll text you more about that, you know, like,
okay.
Or you know, it can be many different things, but I think the worst of it would kind of be like, all right, see you later.
Right, but you see, if you're already anxious about that.
Well, I just want to be armed and prepared.
There is nothing. In other words, I think you're hoping that there's something you can say that could help instigate him to come towards you more and give you more from whatever it is that you say in that moment. Like if you were to do it correctly.
I think I just want to, aside from being in that energy that we talk about, the worthy opponent, you know, the manifesting, aside from being in that energy, you know, like if, you know, I think you mentioned once, like, man, you know, come here and give me a hug, you know, something like that.
Yeah, like, that's fine.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, there's nothing you can say unless you make a joke about his, like here, you could, all right, in terms of like you sexy mother, like, you are the worst at goodbyes. And you laugh and you know, tickle him. Come here and give me a kiss goodbye. For goodness sake, you're the worst at goodbyes.
Right. That's the kind of thing I was wondering.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You could do that.
Something fun and playful.
Right.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be groundbreaking. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yep. Absolutely do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's the kind of thing. But just as long as, yeah, is there another version of that? That kind of thing?
I mean, what else could there be? If you can think of anything, I can't right off the bat. I mean, that would be what you can say.
Okay.
Or, you know, anything that's a joke about it. It's like, okay, I know I got my 3-second goodbye here. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And he's uncomfortable because he is not in a space of actually being correct and what he knows he really should be to have anything with you. Do you believe if you said, you know, I'm in a space now, my situation at home, you know what that is, and I know yours, and I'm okay with things now. I just want you to know that I'm really happy when we can see each other, and I'm really happy we reconnected. What do you think when I say that?
Gosh, I don't think that would be a bad thing to say. Do you?
No, I think it would be a good thing to say.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
He might be uncomfortable in the moment, and that's okay. You just hold space for that, and then you say, "Oh, I know my 3 minutes are up for the goodbye. I gotta go," and you kiss him.
Right.
You see?
Right. Yeah.
You show, I'm okay with this. I know what it is. It doesn't push me off of who I am. You see? Yeah.
Cool.
Try that.
Very nice.
Yeah, try that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
I think do we have somebody else on the line? Is Lizzie there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Lizzie.
Hey, how are you, Paula?
Good. Well, what's going on?
Okay, so I know last time we talked about the guy I was, I guess, dating, and so a lot has happened since.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure how to navigate this situation.
All right. Can you just for everybody who's listening, just summarize how you met and what the situation was?
Yeah. We met on Hinge and back in December, and we've been on 5 dates. And I really feel a strong connection to him, and I feel on the 5th date we were intimate. And so
on the first, or I think it sounded like first, but I think it was 5th.
5th, yes.
5th. Okay, yeah.
Yes. I feel like after that date, things have kind of been he's been more distant. So
right.
I kind of just backed off.
Yeah, if I can just say, I know that he's a guy who doesn't give good text.
Yes, he was not a good communicator at all. Mostly to just set up the date, which we only saw each other once a week, or maybe every 2 weeks, depending on if he was out of town or not. So,
yeah. And then he wouldn't text. Yeah. You didn't connect in text.
No. And we've never called either. So he's a big runner, and I'm as well. Like we do races, and he was going to do a half marathon here about a month ago.
When you say here, is this a long distance?
No, well, he lives an hour away from me.
Hour.
So
okay.
I don't know if you consider that long distance.
Not really.
But but yeah, the last time we talked is actually the day when he was supposed to run the marathon. So the day after the marathon, and I know I shouldn't have done this, but I really was curious. I wanted to know how he did. I just, hey, how did your marathon go? And I heard nothing. And so I did nothing. I did not, after that, nothing. And for 4 days, I heard nothing. And I thought, okay, he's ghosting me, and I just need to move on. So on the 5th day, I get a text from his sister from his phone. And I'll read you the text. It says, hey, this is Paul's sister. Sorry, we don't know each other, but I see you and him were talking. Sunday morning, he was hit by a car on his scooter on the way to the half marathon. He's recovering, but experienced some bleeding in his brain and fractured his skull. He's home now from ICU recovering. He will be recovering for some time, but I wanted to share so you knew if he wasn't communicating.
Oh, how sweet.
Recover. Yeah, he will fully recover. Doctor said so. Once he can text again, I'm sure he will reach out.
Oh.
And I just, I was like, well, oh, wow. So I just responded to her text, said, hey, Paul's sister, I was like, sorry, I don't know your name, but thank you so much for giving me this update. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. So I just kind of let it sit,
Yes, yeah.
Like,
okay. Yep.
So like about a week and a half 2 weeks go by, and I just was like, I'm like, oh, talking to a friend, and she's like, you should really, she's like, I can't believe you haven't tried to call him. She's like, to see if, how, just to, see how he's doing. And of course, I gave in to that, and I wasn't thinking, but I did call him, and I left a message, and then he called the next day back, and was like, hey, I'm alive, and I can't believe what happened, and he kind of went through it, and then he was short, but he was just like, yeah, I gotta go, but I'll talk to you later. And I was like, okay, yeah, talk to you later. And so, and then another week goes by, and my sister-in-law, she's like, have you not tried to offer to bring him a meal? And again, I was like, oh, you're right. Like, if my friend got in an accident, I would be like, can I bring you a meal? So I texted him early this week, and I said, hey, how's the recovery going? I've been thinking about you and was wondering if I could bring you a dinner sometime. Nothing fancy, just a get well soon meal. Would this weekend work? And he texted back and said, that's very nice. I have some friends in town visiting this weekend to see me. And then, like, a couple hours later, I said, I hope you have a great time with your friends this weekend. Take care and feel better soon. And he said, I'm sorry, I am just trying to figure out how to get healthy, and having a lot of visitors traveling is nice, but time consuming. I really appreciate you thinking of me. And then, so I just liked it, and then I didn't respond after that.
Okay.
So, I probably did a lot wrong.
No. Don't be hard on yourself. It's understandable. These are unique circumstances for sure. But you see, he's coming from the male stance of it's not like you had a full relationship.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the prognosis right now for the short term is anyway. And it's way too relationship like or uncomfortable for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's hard to fathom when we as women, and I remember you said on those 5 dates, you seem to have a great connection and a lot in common.
Yeah.
And then you're intimate on the 5th date. But then I also recall nothing changed after that. He didn't continue really to pursue more, and you never had another date. Is that right?
Yeah, he went out of town. Yeah.
Okay. He went out of town, but at that point, he basically, from what I remember, and we did a podcast on this, correct?
Yes, correct.
Right. So anybody who wants, you can hear that in the 80/20 Wonder Club. It's a really good example of the kind of being on different tracks than the guy is. That's all that happened here. It's not like he doesn't like you. It's just you're on very different tracks at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And if I recall, he kind of backtracked about wanting a full-fledged relationship prior to being intimate. And that was a little telling. And then you probably got more interested after being intimate, correct?
Correct.
Right, because that's what we do as women. I mean, if you like him enough and then you have sex and then you like the sex, then you're going to feel more bonded. But men don't. They don't. They're on the same track. And I can't really remember, but it's something he's not divorced for very long or something of the sort.
Yeah, well, he's been separated for 2 years, but he said the papers are waiting to be signed by the judge. So any day he could be officially divorced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's way too soon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It just is. So, and you see, we as women, we also don't understand that because, and it's the puppy principle. That's all it is. That you as a woman, when you no longer feel in a relationship, be it marriage, what have you, you check out. And if you decide to divorce, you can be separated. And the next day, you could meet a man you fall in love with, and you will be ready for a relationship. A man is not, because it's like us with a puppy. If we have one for 16 years that we committed to, we took care of, we were responsible to and for, when that puppy passes, we are not ready to go out and take on the responsibility of another puppy, even though we long for one, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because women view commitment as a natural outgrowth of love. Men view commitment as a responsibility. He's just not ready, and now super not ready because of this incident.
Yeah.
And because the relationship did not have time to become one, you cannot, you see, he told you basically, he didn't suggest another time or anything like that.
No, he didn't.
Right. So you must let it go for any chance of him coming back. You must show, I get it. I'm a worthy opponent. I remove myself from this, as painful as that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because the only way he will see you as someone, as a worthy opponent, and it's simply timing is so important here. He's not ready to, if you lost a puppy last week, because again, in the puppy principle, yeah, it's a different time, but you can correlate it. Do you see what I mean? It's a different amount of time because it's a puppy's passing. But you're not going to be ready, no matter how much you love puppies, to go take on the responsibility of a new one. You're not going to be ready in a week. You're not going to be ready in a month. You want to be free for a while, correct?
Right.
Again, because it's a puppy, yeah, you might be, depending on your lifestyle, you might be ready in 6 months. But we're talking about humans here. So that's why I say, with any man, if you know he is just separated, he needs to be divorced, with that divorce signed, sealed, delivered. And I always, a rule of thumb, 3 years minimally. And if there are children involved, add on years.
Okay.
Now, is that an always? No, it's a rule of thumb. It's on average. Because take the rule of thumb and on average, most people, if their beloved pet of 16 years dies, They don't go out in 1 week and get another, correct?
Right. They grieve.
Right. And yes, while a divorce isn't necessarily grieving, it's about the responsibility. The man is not ready and he wants to go and frolic and pet and play with all the pretty puppies. And
Yeah.
I had a poodle. Maybe now I want a Rottweiler. The poodle didn't work out. Maybe I want a Rottweiler. You see?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it is for us. Men are not puppies to us. We don't like them all big, small, short, tall. They like us like we love puppies. That's why it's so profound. So know that, yeah, you'd want to love on one. If your neighbor had one that you loved and said, "Oh, you lost your beloved pet, let me let Fluffy come on over and sleep with you." You will. Cuddle, spend time, but you're not ready. You want to give Fluffy back. That's the man dating after divorce. Wants to pet you, wants to love on you, but not ready to adopt.
Yeah. So I know I should move on and yes, remove myself from the situation. So, but if he ever does text back or comes back, like, I mean, yeah, I need to wait 3 years.
Well, I don't know for him, and I don't know if the connection was enough for him. He's just, you see, men are on top of time. He's not ready now. He's super not ready now. There might have been a chance, but this injury, no way, no how. He's focused on rehabbing and getting back so he can take on the responsibility if he is a man that ever wants it again. Okay? You are showing yourself, I believe, to be in Freud's Madonna category of his Freud's Madonna whore dichotomy, right? Meaning he knows you are wife, mother, girlfriend material. You didn't have sex with him on the first date, waited 5 dates, right? He knows the essence of who you are. You are a single mom, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. See, good men, when they just want to pet pretty puppies and not adopt, they go for the women who are not in the Madonna category. That's the right thing to do. Because they know the right thing to do by a woman is to allow her to find someone and date someone who will adopt. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to mess with you if he's not ready. That's a good thing. But probably, and like most every woman has experienced, if there's anything there, he'll be back. If you absolutely leave it. I can't tell you when.
Okay.
And in this case, I will go out on a limb and say, do not wait.
Yeah.
Do not wait.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because he's just in no position for anything that he knows, and you showed the energy that you want, and it's who you are. You're a relationship gal, mother. You're not one to just have fun with, and he's not going to do that to you. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not fun. It's painful. That's why we have to be really clear before the sex, where they're at, right? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said, "What's with all these flaky men?" It's not flaky. It's not flaky. That's male. Just like it's not flaky for us, when I love all puppies. I'm going to go in a room with all of them and get on the floor and roll around and let them lick, and I want to pet them and love on them and kiss them, and right? But if I'm not in a place in my life whereby I take on the responsibility to and for a little puppy, once I do, and I take on that responsibility, I do my damnedest to live up to that responsibility. First, I have to be in a place in my life to take it on. And again, this is all in my book, the criteria for a buyer versus a consumer. To be a buyer, you have to be ready, willing, and able. Love is not the thing. Men do not commit by love alone. They make a decision to adopt, meaning commit, and then they live up to it. Because they love us all. We're all cute puppies to them. Big, small, short, tall, thin, not thin, dark, light, red, green, young, old. Something about each and every one of us is endearing, wonderful, cute. If they could, they'd pet us all. And in some countries, they do. That's why women don't go out alone. Because the men still, I had a friend who, she was actually with her husband in Egypt, I think it was. And she had short sleeve shirts, and she said, men would just touch my arm. They'd just touch me.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's just like us. You know, we see the puppy, oh, how cute. You want to pet it. Doesn't mean you're ready to adopt. So we have to know that you add in sex drive, and it's a recipe for us getting heartbroken if we don't take stock. Right there, you know, and this is why I say, and I have a video on here. It's one of my best videos, it has over nearly 8,000 views on it, about not dating a separated man. They're on a team. You can think of it in the sports analogy. They're on a team. And when they get off a team, they're not ready. And they just don't go and join another. It's a failure. Divorce feels like a failure no matter what. They're not ready to take on the responsibility. If women can understand this, it is completely the opposite. We are yin and yang, night and rain, sun and day, on and off, stop or go, male, female. We do not love the same. We do not commit the same. We do not bond the same. That's why, if you can understand it through an experience you have yourself, like if you love puppies, or maybe it's kittens, but you're not, and the reason puppies is even more because it's more responsibility. You're not going to take it on no matter how much you love puppies. You'll love on them, you won't adopt one. And then you take it up a level because it's human and not, much easier to adopt a pet than it is to be in a relationship, you see? So it's even greater. But I just want you to understand that because we love them all, we love all puppies, small, big, all different breeds, and we could love them, but we only typically adopt one. The love alone is not it. It's the readiness. So be sure just to know this is not you. Lizzie, the most important thing is you must absolutely embody the knowledge that this is not about you. That's the takeaway here. You could be a supermodel, I don't know, like the greatest woman on earth, if there is such a thing. Do you understand? It would not matter.
Yeah.
He would have the fun, have the sex, not ready to adopt. Given the circumstances you're telling me. One of them alone would be enough not to have it. These two, double whammy, not happening now.
Yeah.
When he's fully recovered, the ink is dry on the divorce, he's settled in, he's alone again, fully recovered, away from that, and ready to adopt again, you may hear from him. That's because it's not about you. You could be the greatest puppy in the world, cutest thing, most wonderful, easiest. But I don't want to have the responsibility now in my life. That's it. You see? It's not fair. But we have to know it because we're the puppy in the situation. And we have to carry ourselves like, I know I'm the greatest puppy. And I'm going to get adopted by somebody who absolutely values me and will commit to me like no other.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't be hard on yourself. You tried. You now know.
Yeah.
Get back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be good to yourself. Okay. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Paula.
I'm glad you called in.
Yes, you too.
Okay. Bye.
Yes, thank you, Paula.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was nice to talk to all of you that called in tonight. I don't think there's anyone else on. I can't tell. No. So I have 2 dogs and always want a cat. I'm not ready to adopt at all. Doesn't mean I don't love cats. Exactly. AJG said that. Yes. You're not flaky. That's true. It's really, it's when you get this, it's liberating. Totally liberating. we have to know that we are the puppies in the situation, and we have to guard ourselves, our cuteness. And again, take away, it's not an always. It's a rule of thumb. Because if the man, you take him down the paces and he is showing you, no, I'm one of those. For example, I had a client once who she came to me because she met someone online. I think I talked about this recently. She met someone online and he said he was divorced. And I don't think at the time we weren't working together when she met him. And I don't think she even found out how long he was divorced. So they really hit it off, had a real connection, and she really started falling for him. They started a sexual relationship, and then he tells her, I have to be honest, I'm not divorced, I'm just separated. And he was still living in the home with the wife and children. And she came to me. And oh my goodness, was this, heartbreaking. She said, but he's, he really was, I believe him. He, she went through all of it and believed that he really was. And because it's what she wanted, and he was really stepping up to the plate. Okay, if you want to work on this, this is what we have to do. And we took it step by step by step. Well, signed, sealed, delivered that divorce, and he was one of those rare that they got engaged right after. It can happen. It is possible. It takes a lot of work, and it's very hard to do on your own. And we talked about it, she and I, that if she had known prior, she would not have gotten involved with him. Yeah. But her heart was already in it. So we had to go for it because she was going to anyway. She wasn't willing to just walk away. It can happen. It's possible. Is it probable? No. And why I make it a rule of thumb? Because I like to deal in probabilities for you, because that's the best possible way you get what it is you desire and deserve. Yes, Angel said, we've all been there. It's hard, but she will get through it. Yes, she will. And I'm glad we got to do this tonight. Really good conversations. I'm reading just some on Instagram as well. Just seeing if there's anything here before we go tonight. And if you want to talk to me in the way that you've heard Lizzie and Lynn and Crystal talk to me tonight, join the 8020 Wonder Club. That is the 8020wonder.club. And you can learn how to call me here and talk to me. You get all of the Making Wonder podcasts and Making Magic with Men Mindset Manual video series. And this is now part of it. And I'm so happy because it helps other women in these kinds of discussions. And it's a forum here where you all can share. And I love that as well. So if you appreciate lives like this, let me know. Please subscribe here. We didn't hit my mark this week of the 2,260. I'm at 2,253 on YouTube. If you are on Instagram, the only way you can I readily see in real time the comments and so forth is on YouTube. So I hope you will come over to YouTube and join us here. But I'm really grateful to all of you. I'm happy to be here now Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So please subscribe, share, get the word out. Like the video if you do, or give it a thumbs down. Either one. If you don't like it, please give it a thumbs down, because either one helps the algorithms to help others discover our forum here and help other women to level up to everything that they deserve. So thank you again. Lovely to be with you. Have a wonder-filled weekend. Don't forget to make your man wonder as always, and we will see you next time.